Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 15th of May 2025. And if you look at the prices of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market, guys, it has marginally gone down since the last few days. Now, the reason does not make absolutely any sense, guys, because just a few days ago, the inflation numbers did actually come out. And under the Trump administration, guys, the inflation has been the lowest since the last 4 years. But before I go further, guys, I do have a very important question. Did you guys watch any mainstream media covering news regarding inflation? Now, I'm definitely expecting the answer to be no, isn't it? Because look, guys, under the Trump administration, for the very first time in 4 years, the inflation did actually go down. This, to be honest, is a very positive sign. But instead, mainstream media is talking about the gift that he's received from Qatar, isn't it? And I've always said this, guys. The market does not necessarily react to facts. Rather, it does react to the narrative put out by mainstream media. But what I'll do, guys, in today's episode, I'll go and discuss the inflation-related information. And according to the official sources, that is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, guys, inflation has actually gone down to 2.3%. And this is the lowest since 2021. And we know under the Biden administration, guys, inflation in the United States of America was the highest in 40 years. But mainstream media is not talking about it, isn't it? Now, along with that, I'll also talk about President Donald Trump's historic trip in Middle East. And President Trump has secured a staggering $1.2 trillion from Qatar, as well as $600 billion from Saudi Arabia. Now, it's needless to say, the only reason why this thing is possible is because of tariffs, isn't it? And under the Trump administration, guys, now the US government has secured more than $8 trillion. And these investments, guys, will be directly and indirectly impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, the official source, guys, to check all the investment is the White House official website. I'd really urge you guys to go and check it out. Now, regarding Ethereum, guys, there is a really interesting development, and they are focusing on a $1 trillion initiative. And the initiative, guys, essentially has three components. That is mapping, executing, and communicating. So what I'll do, guys, in today's episode, I'll go ahead and explain what this initiative is all about. And since the last upgrade that did actually take place in Ethereum, the prices have been pumping up as well, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and take an in-depth dive into this. Now, the next news, guys, is a massive news in the world of real-world asset tokenization. And a lot of big names are involved in this, guys. You have Ondo Finance, you have JP Morgan, and you have Chainlink. So I'll go ahead and discuss what is the news that is connected to real-world asset tokenization and why it is such a milestone for Ondo Finance. Now look, guys, in the cryptocurrency world, the next step is tokenization, so we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now the final news, guys, is connected to ETFs, and VanEck has launched an on-chain economy ETF, so we'll definitely go ahead and discuss what this news is all about, because this particular ETF, guys, does complement VanEck's other digital asset ETF, so definitely interesting news. Now we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover, guys, in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date series, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now, the first news, guys, is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Amazon Web Services, as well as Humain, which is a new company that is set up by the Prince of Saudi Arabia, guys. They have announced more than $5 billion worth of investment to accelerate artificial intelligence adoption, and they're focusing on adoption not just in Saudi Arabia, guys, but even at a macro level. So we'll definitely go and discuss what this news is all about. Now, the second news, guys, is a bizarre one, and this is connected to tokenization. And the news essentially is that the company wants to tokenize the Tree of Life, and they are focusing on Olive, guys. And essentially, guys, Olive blockchain project is sprouting in Dubai. Now, me personally, I'm not a fan of this, because roughly around 2 years ago, guys, there was a massive hype regarding NFTs, and there was a company that did try to do something similar in Mangroves in Abu Dhabi, but I really am not sure what the future of that particular project is. But regarding this particular project, guys, I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information regarding it. So we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, the global cryptocurrency market since the last 24 hours, guys, is actually down by almost 5%, 4.90% to be precise. And the global cryptocurrency market is at $3.39 trillion. This, to be honest, guys, does not make absolutely any sense. Because just 2 days ago, guys, the inflation numbers are out. And the only official source to go and look at inflation is the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. But look, guys, mainstream media is completely dismissing this news. And via WhatsApp, guys, I did actually ask 6 to 8 friends of mine if they did see any news regarding inflation covered by mainstream media. And none of them were even aware about any inflation news. And this is some of the dangers of mainstream media, isn't it? They were actually claiming that because of tariffs, the inflation would actually go down. But the reality is, guys, under the Trump administration, the inflation did actually go down. As a matter of fact, guys, based on the inflation data, the inflation is actually down for the very first time in 4 years. And so far as US economy is concerned, guys, things are definitely looking good for the US economy. And I've always said this, whatever happens to the United States of America, it does have a domino effect on other countries, isn't it? And President Donald Trump today is in Abu Dhabi as well, guys. And things are definitely looking good for the Middle East region. Now, I'll definitely go and touch base on that. But before that, let's go and take a deep dive into the global cryptocurrency market. Because if you look at the 24-hour volume, guys, Since the last 24 hours, it is actually down by 18.04%, but in terms of dollar amount, it is definitely looking good, and it is about the $100 billion mark, $120 billion to be precise. Now look guys, there are three metrics you should be looking at. You need to be looking at the 24-hour volume, then compare this with the volume of stable coins, and then guys, you need to look at the 24-hour trading volume, and since the last 72 hours, all of these numbers are increasing, which just means guys, people are not selling a lot of the cryptocurrencies, rather they are parking them into stablecoin, and because of that, you can make a calculated assumption that in the next few days, there is a very high possibility that the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency should be pumping up. But whatever I'm saying is definitely not financial advice, and make sure you go out and do your own research. Now let's quickly run through some metrics regarding decentralized finance, because since the last few days guys, the volume of decentralized finance has definitely been picking up pace, and today it is at $15.14 billion. But decentralized finance today guys is accounting for less than 10%, 8.19% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. But if you look at the decentralized exchange dominance, since the last 24 hours it has actually pumped up, and today it is at 43.43%, which just means since the last 24 hours a lot of decentralized exchanges have been used. But look guys, it is also important to understand now, when you look at the decentralized exchange dominance, there is a very high possibility that a lot of centralized exchanges are using decentralized exchanges as well. So when you see a number of 43.43% guys, I wouldn't be surprised if 25% does actually constitute to centralized exchanges. Now let's quickly run to the volume of decentralized exchanges. The number one is Uniswap, and its 24-hour volume is $3.35 billion. Second one is PancakeSwap, and its 24-hour volume is $2.50 billion. The third one is Mutura, and its 24-hour volume is $1.56 billion. The fourth one guys is Radium, and its 24-hour volume is $1.41 billion. Aerodrome guys is at number 5th, but its 24-hour volume is below the $1 billion mark, $897.62 million. Now let's quickly run through some metrics regarding stable coins. Now if you look at the market cap of stable coins, in comparison to last week, it is actually up by 8%, and in terms of dollar amount, it is at $242.54 billion. Now look guys, when you're looking at the market cap of stable coins, it does not necessarily give you right matrix. According to me, when you look at the matrix of stable coins, we should be looking at the 24-hour trading volume, because the whole idea of stablecoin is that so that we can use it back and forth, isn't it? And since the last 7 days guys, the volume of stablecoins has definitely been picking up pace, and today the volume of Tether USDT is at a staggering $81.31 billion. It is definitely fallen down since 13th, isn't it? But the volume of stablecoins is definitely doing much better since the last month or so, and the volume of Circle USDC is at $10.78 billion. FDUSD guys, its volume is $4.45 billion. Now it's needless to say that Tether USDT is definitely leading the pack, and via DeFiLlama.com guys, they also have a dominance percentage, and Tether USDC's dominance is at 62.39%. But look guys, I'm going to be making a really wild prediction. 3 to 5 years down the line, Circle USDC's dominance will be picking up pace, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does aggressively compete with Tether USDT. It may not overtake the dominance of Tether USDT as such, but I'm pretty much sure USDT's dominance will marginally go down. Now talking about dominance guys, Bitcoin's dominance since the last week has gradually been going down, and right now it is at 59.60%, whereas Ethereum's dominance has been picking up pace, and right now Ethereum's dominance is at 9.02%. Now the only reason why the dominance of Ethereum is picked up pace is because of the recent upgrade, and in today's episode I'm going to be talking about a $1 trillion initiative as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the prices of Ethereum reacts in the next quarter. Now if you look at the 24-hour trading volume guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $44.67 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $24.26 billion. Now if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin guys, it has actually gone down since the last 48 hours, and today it is at $2.02 trillion, but the market cap of Ethereum has actually picked up pace, and right now it is at $307 billion. Now in an idealistic world guys, because the inflation has actually gone down, the prices of Bitcoin as well as the market cap should have pumped up, but the cryptocurrency world is absolutely wild, and so far as predictions are concerned guys, I often say this, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Now what I want to do next in today's episode is, I want to look at the top AI and big data tokens by market capitalization, because right now there's this massive narrative regarding artificial intelligence, isn't it? Now the number one is Bitensa guys, and its market cap is at $3.74 billion. Neo Protocol is at number 2nd, its market cap is at $3.52 billion. ICP Internet Computer Protocol is at number 3rd, but its market cap is a little shy of the $3 billion mark. $2.90 billion to be precise. Now me personally guys, I'm not a fan of ICP protocol as such, and just some fun fact guys, the day they were launched, they were immediately in the top 10, but in just a matter of 24 hours, the prices did actually dump down by well over 90%, and there was a lot of allegations that the founding team did actually decide to dump a lot of the tokens. Now at number 4 there's Render and his market cap is at $2.50 billion. Filecoin guys is at number 5th, but its market cap is below the $2 billion mark. It is at $1.95 billion to be precise. Now guys, let's go and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin right now is at $101,913. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.56%. And since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.48%. Ethereum guys, since the last 7 days, is up by 31.87%. But since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.95%. And the price of Ethereum is at a staggering $2,548. Now surprisingly guys, Ripple XRP's volume did actually pump up. But since the last 24 hours, it has gone down. But the price is staying strong at $2.49. And since the last 24 hours, it is up by 12.53%. But since the last 24 hours, it is actually down by 4.62%. Now look guys, I cannot stress this enough. There are two metrics that directly and indirectly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. The first and the most important one is the inflation data or consumer price index. And under the Biden administration guys, the inflation in the United States of America did reach the highest in 40 years. And inflation was hovering around the 8% mark. But under the Trump administration guys, the inflation has actually gone down to the lowest in 4 years. Now along with inflation guys, the second important information is the FOMC meeting. Because at the FOMC meeting, Federal Chair Jerome Powell does decide to go ahead and make decisions regarding the interest rate. So what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, keep a track on 2 dates. The first is when the inflation data is out, and the second one is the FOMC meeting. Now regarding the inflation data guys, the only website to look at is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And as I mentioned before guys, no one is talking about the inflation data that got released few days ago. And the inflation rate in the United States of America is only at 2.3% for April. And this is actually much less than what people anticipated. And this inflation data is the lowest since 2021 guys. And it is showing a trend towards a Federal Reserve 2% target. Now look guys, mainstream media and so-called experts on LinkedIn are talking about tariffs. And they are saying that because of tariffs, the inflation would be picking up paces in it. But look guys, this is the first inflation report since President Donald Trump launched his tariffs. And surprise, surprise guys, inflation has actually gone down. And this inflation data is a surprise to left-leaning administration and Democrats. But if you truly understand what President Donald Trump is doing regarding tariffs guys, historically as well, inflation has been going down. So what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website, which is the official information, and it clearly states that the inflation has gone down under President Donald Trump. But look guys, mainstream media is not talking about it. Rather, they're talking about the $400 million gift that Qatar is giving to President Donald Trump's administration. Now, it's really important to note, guys, this particular gift is not an individual gift to President Donald Trump. Rather, it is a gift to the US government. And if you look at it in one way, guys, this $400 million worth of gift will actually reduce the inflation as well, isn't it? But mainstream media does not want to talk about it. And President Donald Trump right now is on a historic trip to the Middle East, guys. And by this time, you would have heard that President Donald Trump has already secured $1.2 trillion economic commitment in Qatar, as well as $600 billion investment in Saudi Arabia. Both of these news are absolutely phenomenal for the US economy, guys. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, in the show notes below, there is official sources directly from the White House. And there is also an entire unedited speech by President Donald Trump at Riyadh, which was an investment forum. Please go and listen to the entire speech, guys. I personally think it was, if not one of the best speeches. And at the geopolitical level, guys, President Donald Trump has also removed US sanctions on Syria, which again is an absolutely major policy shift. And President Donald Trump's administration also negotiated peace between India and Pakistan as well, isn't it? So keeping all this thing in mind, guys, the Middle East is definitely one of the best places to live right now. And even in the iconic speech at Saudi Arabia, guys, President Donald Trump praised the Prince of Saudi Arabia. And according to me, guys, the economy of United States of America under the Trump administration is definitely reaching new heights. And this, guys, will be having a positive impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? And right now, President Donald Trump is in Abu Dhabi as well. And I'm definitely hoping for some more interesting news. Now, United Arab Emirates, guys, has already committed to $1.4 trillion worth of investment in the United States. And Demagro from Dubai has already invested $20 billion in the United States of America. So things are definitely looking good in the Middle East region. But look guys, mainstream media definitely does not want to talk about it, and I cannot stress this enough guys. Make sure you go and look at information from first source, and you'd be surprised that mainstream media puts out a completely different and fake news information. Now based on all this thing that is currently taking place, I'm pretty much sure the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be reaching a new all-time high. Now guys, let's go and discuss some massive news in the world of tokenization. And right now there's so much of hype regarding tokenization, isn't it? And the news essentially is that Ondo Finance guys, they are working on a first cross-chain DVP, and DVP guys essentially stands for delivery versus payment. And Ondo Finance, in collaboration with Connexes by JP Morgan and Chainlink guys, have successfully completed a cross-chain delivery versus payment test. But it's really important to note guys, this particular test transaction was done on the testnet. Now this milestone guys does demonstrate the secure as well as scalable tokenization of real-world assets, and it does mark a step towards bridging traditional and decentralized finance. And so far as the transactions are concerned guys, based on the news by Ondo Finance, it does actually state that it ensures enhanced security, reduces risk and liquidity management as well. But look guys, it's really important to understand that this was done on Ondo Chain's testnet and not necessarily the mainframe, and not necessarily live yet. But at the same time guys, this milestone for Ondo Finance marks a significant step for the future of tokenization, and by successfully executing cross-chain delivery versus payment transactions, it does pave the way for scaling tokenization of real-world assets such as government treasuries on blockchain platform. And this development suggests a future where tokenized assets can become more secure, compliant and easily transferable across different blockchain networks, and it does set the stage for widespread adoption, enable seamless as well as efficient transactions in both traditional and decentralized finance, and who should say it might potentially revolutionize how institutional assets are managed and traded as well. But at the same time guys, I do have apprehensions regarding tokenization, and I've been saying this over and over again. How does the KYC work? Does it work on open blockchain or does it work in permission blockchain? Now you can make an argument that there will be a centralized entity that will do the KYC, and once the KYC is done, you'll be onboarded with an open blockchain. But that defeats the whole pillars of open blockchain, isn't it? Because you need to do KYC as well as AML. Now you can make an excuse for this, but the second problem I have is regarding the tokens guys. What if the token is sold to a person from a sanctioned country, and because it is connected to real world assets, which by the way you have to go and do KYC as well as follow regulations regarding AML? How does tokenization work? Now there is another solution for that, and in smart contracts you can go and make accommodation for all of these things. But look guys, if you're doing all of these things, according to me it will be much better if you go and use Microsoft Excel, and according to me Microsoft Excel can do a much better job if all of these things are taken into consideration. Now let's go and talk about a really interesting development in the world of Ethereum guys. And the Ethereum Foundation guys, they have announced $1 trillion initiative, and essentially guys, it is an ecosystem effort to upgrade Ethereum security to help bridge the world on chain. And by reaching $1 trillion security guys, what this would mean for the Ethereum as well as the world is, billions of individuals would feel comfortable storing more than $1,000 on chain, and that will collectively amount to trillions of dollars secured on Ethereum. And so far as companies, institutions and governments are concerned guys, they would feel more comfortable and secure storing more than $1 trillion of value inside a single contract or application. And as I mentioned earlier guys, this particular initiative is essentially broken down into three components. The first one is mapping, the second one is executing, and the third one is communicating. Now regarding mapping guys, let me go ahead and discuss what this actually means, because what they want to do is, they want to map the landscape of security strengths and attack vectors across every domain and layers of Ethereum's technological stack, and the Ethereum Foundation will gather input from across the ecosystem, and then guys, they will synthesize this into a security overview report that will help them identify focus areas. And so far as the mapping is concerned guys, it will span across a wide range of domains, including user experience, that is blind signing as well as front-end security, and it will also have a positive impact on wallet security such as firmware issues, supply chain attacks, and even smart contract securities, and it will have a strong focus on developer tooling and standard libraries. And so far as infrastructure is concerned guys, it will focus on cloud security, dependency management, and so far as consensus and protocol security is concerned guys, it will be focusing on DOS risks, stake centralization as well. And finally guys, regarding internet infra guys, it will be focusing on DLS censorship as well. And I'm pretty much sure guys, there will be other focus areas as well. Now regarding the second component guys, that is execution, based on the official information it does actually state, executing on improvements in focus areas identified during the mapping overview guys will allow the Ethereum Foundation to work closely with the ecosystem to implement near-term priority fixes and allocate investment for long-term improvement projects. And the third component is communicating, guys. And the official announcement states, communicating more effectively about Ethereum security, guys. Users of all kinds should be able to understand and benefit from Ethereum's strong security foundation. And absolutely anyone should be able to evaluate Ethereum security standards and compare them with blockchain and legacy systems. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what kind of an impact will have on the price regarding the $1 trillion initiative. And this particular project, guys, will be driven by Frederick Swantes, who's the protocol security lead, as well as Josh Stark, who is from Ethereum Foundation Management, and they are the initial co-chairs of this particular project, and they will be supported by 3 ecosystem stewards who will be guiding this particular project and provide input and advice. And the 3 people, guys, are Sam Zimano, who's a founder of Security Alliance, and the second one is Mehdi Zaruli, guys, who's a co-founder and director of Sigma Prime, and the third one is Zach Robront, who's a co-founder of Etherealize. So it is best to connect them via LinkedIn, I guess. Now let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding Ethereum's $1 trillion initiative. Me personally, guys, I do think news such as this does impact the price of Ethereum as such, but regarding the use case, to be completely honest, I'm a bit skeptical. But let's see, guys, if Ethereum does actually fulfill its promise, because when Ethereum was launched, the whole notion of Ethereum was that it was the first world computer. So let's see if it does actually materialize. Now, guys, let's go and discuss a really interesting news regarding ETF. And this ETF essentially is on-chain economy ETF. And VanEck, guys, which is an absolute giant in the finance space, they have launched the VanEck on-chain economy ETF. And the ticker symbol for that was Chicago Board of Mercantile Exchanges node. That is N for November, O for Orange, D for David, and E for Elephant. And this ETF is an actively managed fund offering exposure to companies in digital asset space, including crypto mining, exchanges, and fintech as well. And Node, guys, aims to provide lower volatility than pure crypto strategies with flexible exposure based on market conditions and Bitcoin sensitivity. And this ETF, guys, does complement VanEck's other digital assets ETF, like the VanEck's Digital Transformation ETF, and it does offer investors access to both traditional and digital asset market. Now look, guys, to be completely honest, when I found out about this ETF, I was a bit skeptical regarding this, but according to me, it is an absolutely brilliant and genius idea, and it is great that they are focusing on crypto mining activities as well as exchanges. Definitely the future looks promising in my honest opinion. So these were some macro level news, guys, on the Bitcoin blockchain and cryptocurrency world. Now let's go ahead and look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is an absolute massive news, and this is connected to a news that I did actually talk about earlier this week. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince, guys, he did actually go and start his own company, isn't it? And the project was called as Humane, and looks like Amazon Web Services, guys. They, along with Humane, have announced a $5 billion investment to accelerate the adoption in Saudi Arabia as well as globally. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because this partnership includes first of its kind AI zone in Saudi Arabia, offering cutting-edge infrastructure and AI services. Now this investment is in addition to Amazon Web Services previously announced $5.3 billion AWS infrastructure region, and it will be launching in Saudi Arabia in 2026. And the AI zone will feature dedicated AWS AI infrastructure, including ultra-cluster network for high-performance AI training and inference. And AWS, guys, will provide core services like Amazon SageMaker, Amazon Bedrock, and Amazon Q to drive generation AI innovation in the region. And Amazon Bedrock will allow Saudi organization to build secure and responsible generative AI applications using top AI models. And so far as Amazon Q is concerned, it is essentially a powerful Gen AI coding assistant, and it will enable enterprises to automate tasks, generate content, and analyze enterprise data. And so far as Humane is concerned, it will develop AI solutions using AWS technologies and co-create unified AI agent marketplaces for government use cases. And look, as a collaboration aims to promote development and adoption of Arabic large language models, and the key sectors include government, healthcare, education, as well as the energy sector, and they will benefit from AI tools enhancing productivity and service deliveries. In AWS's Generative AI Innovation Center, guys, will partner with Humane to fast-track AI adoption across startups, enterprises, and governments as well. In AWS and Humane, guys, will jointly fuel Saudi Arabia's startup sector, providing tools, mentorship, and access to AWS Activate. And in 2024, guys, Saudi Arabia startup secured $750 million in venture capital, which is the highest in the MENA region, indicating a thriving innovation ecosystem. In AWS, guys, will scale generative AI training and certification program in collaboration with Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. And AWS also aims to train 100,000 Saudis in artificial intelligence and cloud computing, and they're offering free certification via the Amazon Academy. And AWS, guys, has also launched the Saudi Arabia's Women Skills Initiative, and they are targeting training for 10,000 women in cloud and AI skills. And I definitely covered this, guys, in the Blockchain DXB podcast. Now, look, guys, with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia getting involved in artificial intelligence, and with the recent trip by President Donald Trump, I'm pretty much sure things are looking absolutely marvelous so far as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is concerned, particularly in the field of artificial intelligence. Now, guys, let me go ahead and discuss the second news, and the company wants to tokenize the Tree of Life. Now, me personally, guys, I'm a bit skeptical regarding this, but let me go ahead and give out what this news is all about, because Global Olive Corporation, guys, they have announced a plan to tokenize $100 million olive tokens worldwide using blockchain technology, and this announcement was made at an invite-only event in Burj Khalifa. And this particular project, guys, is called as Prosperity with a Purpose, and the aim is to connect investors with real-world olive trees, and they want to do this to blockchain-based digital tokens. Now look, guys, as I mentioned before, this idea really sounds great, but in reality I don't see the use case of it, but I'm wishing them nothing but the best, to be completely honest. Now, Global Olive Corporation, guys, they've already planted over 1 million olive trees in Georgia, and they're serving it as a starting point of this initiative. And here's the interesting thing, guys. Each olive tree will have a unique digital passport that'll give information regarding the country, variety, age, yield, as well as carbon footprint, and token holders will receive profit shares from olive and fruit sales, as well as carbon credits. Now, something similar was actually done in Abu Dhabi, guys, and they tokenized it using NFTs, but I haven't seen any update regarding that particular project. Now, regarding this initiative, guys, it does combine afforestation, land regeneration, and sustainable investment into a single blockchain-powered ecosystem. And the olive-backed token, guys, tentatively called Olive Cash, is currently in pre-launch and will be officially introduced in Singapore in October of 2025. And they have an ambitious plan to include it in countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, India, Brazil, Spain, Chile, South Africa, as well as Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And the Global Olive Corporation, guys, also plans to gift olive trees to the Dubai government and plant trees within the United Arab Emirates as well. Now, the reason why they chose olive trees is because of the long lifespan and the ability to deliver increasing yields over the first 20 years. And based on the news, guys, they will be having real-time data from satellite imagery and sensors that will monitor the tree's health, water needs, and carbon absorption as well. Now, based on the news, guys, it does actually state the tokenization approach aims to revolutionize agriculture by improving efficiency, resource allocation, and profitability. And Global Olive Corporation will maintain a reserve of trees to replace any deceased or dead ones, protecting investor interest. And so far as carbon credits are concerned, guys, it is a major pillar for the investment strategy, and it is linked to verified natural-based carbon offsets. Now, the Global Olive Corporation is actively engaging with Middle East governments as well as investors for regional participation and support. And despite the challenges in market competition, guys, Global Olive Corporation promotes this initiative as a tangible, scalable solution for climate, agriculture, as well as ethical investment. But look, guys, me personally, I'm definitely not buying it, but I'm wishing them nothing but the best. So these were the news, guys, on the Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now, for the next few minutes, is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by John who asks, how will the rise of AI investment in Middle East, like the $5 billion between AWS and Remain deal, shape the future of crypto and Web3 adoption in the region? This, to be honest, John, is such a brilliant question, and historically I've always said this over and over again. So far as technological advancement as well as cryptocurrency is concerned, Middle East is definitely taking leaps and bounds right now. And honestly speaking, the $5 billion investment that you talked about, that is more than just tech investment in my honest opinion. If you look at the geopolitical signal right now, Middle East, John, right now is positioning itself as a global leader for artificial intelligence, the so-called blockchain technology, and digital transformation as well. Now, regarding Saudi Arabia, I'm really not sure if cryptocurrencies are legal yet, but I'm definitely not seeing blockchain technology as such. But look, John, governments in the region, especially Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, they have become extremely pro-cryptocurrency, pro-technology and pro-artificial intelligence, particularly since the last few years. Or really, I'm not sure if COVID-19 has to do anything with it, but after 2020, United Arab Emirates is definitely taking leaps and bounds. And according to me, John, they're just not experimenting. They are actually deploying massive capital and creating real infrastructure. And when you talk about United Arab Emirates, we know Dubai's VAR, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. You have Ragdow, that is Russell Kema Dow from the Emirate of Russell Kema, as well as Abu Dhabi Global Market. They are definitely taking leaps and bounds. And so far Saudi Arabia is concerned, John, it is integrating artificial intelligence into Vision 2030 strategy as well. And they're definitely pushing for digital government services, smart cities, and maybe blockchain technology in the backend as well. Now, so far as Middle East is concerned, John, what I've been noticing is that governments and enterprise blockchain projects are even using artificial intelligence for predictive models and automations, particularly in sectors like finance, healthcare, and even public services. So to answer your question, yes, John, investments like these are absolutely laying the foundation for a deeper so-called Web3 space, as well as crypto and artificial intelligence integration. And the Middle East right now is not just catching up, it is actually becoming a testbed for scalable, institutional-grade AI blockchain convergence as well. And even President Donald Trump gave a really iconic speech for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and he's hoping phenomenal things for the country of Syria as well. So the future right now in the Middle East is definitely looking bright, and it is great that the United States of America and the Middle East are on positive terms, isn't it? So definitely brilliant question. And that's about all, guys, on the Ask Me Anything Season Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, we have the Blockchain DXB podcast where we cover top news and information from the world of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence. We also look at macro level as well as political news. And then we look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East from the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain, and even artificial intelligence world. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.